This is the Kospet Tank T3 Ultra, while the one with a square shape is the Tank M3 Ultra. These are outdoor smartwatches with fairly comprehensive features such as built-in GPS, altimeter, barometer, and AMOLED display. In this video, we will compare the Tank T3 Ultra and the Tank M3 Ultra. For those with limited data, I'll provide the information up front. Basically, both of these watches are the same, just different in shape. But there are several factors that make the Tank T3 Ultra better. But does that make the Tank M3 not worth buying? We will discuss everything in this video, and we will also discuss all the features available in both of these Kospet smartwatches. Welcome to Godoga Mix. First, let's discuss the design. The T3 is wider, reaching 51.5 millimeters when measured with its buttons compared to the M3, which is 44 millimeters when measured with the buttons. However, the lug-to-lug size of the M3 is longer at 57 millimeters compared to the T3's 55 millimeters. Despite the difference in size, overall, the difference isn't too noticeable as seen in the video. This is how my Tank T3 looks when I wear it. And this is the Tank M3 when I wear it. As for which design is better, it depends on personal preference. Both have obtained MILE STD 810H military standard certification. They use Corning Gorilla Glass 3rd generation, and the watch materials are made of corrosion-resistant stainless steel 360L. The T3 Ultra is heavier at 81 grams compared to the M3, which weighs 75 grams. Both watches use a 22mm strap size, so they can interchange straps. Now, let's talk about the screen. Both use AMOLED displays, and according to information, they reach 1000 nits, so outdoor visibility is good for both the T3 and M3. The screen density is also good. When you set a photo as the watch face, it will appear sharp and clear. However, in my opinion, the T3's screen is slightly brighter. It might not be very noticeable in the video, but when the brightness is at maximum, if we observe closely, the icons on the T3 are almost invisible because of how bright it is. Meanwhile, on the M3, the quick setting icons are still visible enough. On the other hand, at the minimum brightness level, the T3 screen still appears brighter, although it might not be very noticeable in the video. For the quick setting options, we can customize them as seen in the video. Here we can see that the M3 can display 8 quick setting icons, while the T3 only shows 6 icons. This doesn't necessarily mean that the M3's screen is bigger or wider, even though in inches, the M3's screen diagonal is indeed larger. The reason the M3 can accommodate more icons is simply due to its rounded and square design. Let me show you a comparison of the screen area for reading messages. As you can see, there isn't much difference in the number of words that can be displayed on one screen. Interestingly, on the T3, it can actually display longer WhatsApp messages, as seen in the video. Moving on to other features, when we swipe up, it will display shortcut cards such as daily activity, music controller, heart rate, and others, as shown in the video. We can also arrange their order with the most important one on top. From the watch face, pressing the down button will access the shortcut cards. Pressing the up button will access the quick settings. Swiping right will open notifications. Both watches currently do not offer the option for quick reply to WhatsApp messages. To configure which applications can send notifications, it's done through the Kospet Fit application on your phone. The bottom right button is a shortcut button. I've set it to access the sports menu. However, it can be changed to other functions as well, as seen in the video. Pressing the top right button will navigate in and out of the watch menu. We can use the up or down buttons to navigate the menu. However, we still need to tap the screen to select, or we can't select using the buttons. It's quite unfortunate. To access the menu, you can also swipe the screen to the left. Both the Tank T3 and M3 support Bluetooth calls. For the microphone quality, you can check each watch's review. The links are in the video description. To store contacts on the watch, we need to synchronize them through the Kospet Fit application. Daily activity includes calorie data, steps, and distance traveled today. There are 170 types of sports to choose from. We can add and delete sports directly from the watch. For testing sports features and accuracy, you can check the review video. The link is in the description. We can view the exercise history directly on the watch or synchronize it with the phone. The heart rate feature doesn't show data because the watch is not being worn. There is resting heart rate data available. We can set the watch to monitor change voltages at intervals between 5 to 60 minutes. The more frequently the heart rate feature is active, the more it drains the battery. There are several features related to heart rate monitoring that can be read on the watch screen. Anyway, besides English, we can change the watch language to several other languages. There is a feature to provide alerts when the heart rate is above or below normal limits. There's a sleep monitoring feature. I've compared both of them several times, and they both provide consistent and similar results. In this example, the total difference in sleep time is only 4 minutes. There are several settings for the sleep monitor, such as alarms to wake up and others that can be seen on the screen. Here's the display of the sleep data. It can already detect naps. I recorded this video when I was feeling unwell and slept a lot. This is an example of sleep monitoring on another day, showing similar times as well. If two different devices show similar results, it means both provide consistent measurements, meaning the sensors and algorithms of the Tank T3 Ultra and Tank M3 Ultra are working well. A few minutes difference is normal because I wear one on my left hand and one on my right hand. This can cause differences in movement depending on my sleeping position, whether I'm lying on my left or right side or on my back. The blood oxygen or SpO2 feature. We can also set it to be monitored throughout the day and receive warnings if blood oxygen levels drop below normal. There's a stress level feature. It works by monitoring HRV or heart rate variability, which indicates whether our body is tense or relaxed. The music controller feature is for controlling the media player on the phone via Bluetooth. Basically, we can control any application that is currently producing sound or playing media on the phone. So it can be used for music players like Spotify or others. It can also be used for video players like YouTube or others. We can stream audio from the phone to the watch so the sound is heard from the watch's speaker. To adjust settings, open the Sound and Vibration menu, then look for Media Audio. Both the T3 and M3 Ultra cannot directly store music files on the watch, so it's only for controlling media player applications on the phone via Bluetooth. The voice assistant feature is only for activating Google or Siri on the phone. The results still depend on the data from the phone. For weather forecasts, the data is taken from what's provided by the phone. There's a slight difference in appearance between the two, but the data presented is more or less the same. You can see for yourself in the video. There's a compass feature. Both of them function normally. It also has a barometer and altimeter. They have been tested in an elevator, and the altitude changes as the elevator moves up or down. Then there's breathing. This is to guide breathing to make the body more relaxed. You can set how long and also the speed of breaths, whether it's fast, medium, or slow. Just follow the animation displayed on the screen, and with each change between inhale and exhale, the watch will vibrate. The stopwatch feature. The alarm feature. We can add up to a maximum of 5 alarms. They can be set to be active every day on specific days only or just once. The alarm sounds are pretty loud. and there's an option for snooze, or here it's called naps for 10 minutes. There's a timer feature. You can choose preset times or set a specific time. When the timer reaches 0, the watch will vibrate or there will be no sound. There's a simple calculator feature. The remote shutter feature only works if the Kospet Fit app is active or running in the background, so it can't be used with the phone's built-in camera app. The flashlight feature, or torch. If you frequently use this feature, you can place its icon in the quick settings. The Find Phone feature is for activating a sound on the phone to make it easier to find. It only works when the watch and phone are connected via Bluetooth. For the women's health feature on the watch, it can only be used if we set our gender to female in the Kospet Fit app. In the settings section, there's an option to change the watch face, which can also be done by pressing and holding the screen in standby mode. There are 11 watch faces that can be stored on the watch, and 4 of them can be changed through the Kospet Fit app. We can use our own photos for watch faces. We can set up to 4 photo watch faces that can be changed by tapping on the screen. Since it's an AMOLED screen, there's an always-on display AOD feature. We can set AOD to be active all day or only at certain times. There are several AOD watch face options to choose from, and we can also install additional AOD watch faces through the Kospet Fit app. Language settings. If you follow the app, the watch language will match the language used on the phone. To change the language, don't select Follow the app. After that, you can choose the desired language. It supports many languages. Brightness settings, screen on duration, and raise to wake switch are settings to change the watch face every time we move our wrist, so we don't get bored quickly. Tap to wake is a setting to turn on the screen by tapping the screen with a finger. T3 and M3 don't have the auto brightness feature, but adjusting brightness is easy through quick settings. In the sound and vibration settings, we can adjust the vibration strength level of the watch. And if silent mode is off, we can adjust the volume for incoming call ringtones. This is the ringtone sound from the watch. However, if silent mode is on, when there's an incoming call, the watch will not make any sound and will only vibrate. If media audio is enabled, then the sound from the phone will be routed to the watch, including notification sounds from applications, not just when playing music or videos. If we turn off media audio, the sound will come from the phone, or it will not be routed to the watch. Additionally, if we disable the Bluetooth call feature, then the sound will not be routed to the watch, even if the media audio is active. There are 6 menu theme displays to choose from. Here's an example of the display. Here we can create a password for accessing the watch menu. If you use a password, it's important not to forget it. Date and time settings for the watch can be synchronized with the phone if you enable Sync app, or you can set them manually. Do not disturb or DND settings allow you to mute notifications on the watch. If DND is active, the watch will not vibrate or make sounds when notifications come in. You can set it to be active all day or at specific times. Sport recognition is a feature that will automatically suggest starting a workout if certain movements are detected. However, I have disabled this feature because it drains the battery more quickly. Bottom key setting allows you to configure the function of the bottom right button. Cover lock allows you to turn off the screen by covering the entire screen with your hand. The QR code is for the initial pairing code. The system menu includes options to restart, power off, and reset, which deletes the watch's data and restores it to factory settings. Here is the firmware version of the 2 watches currently being used. There is one feature that requires settings to be done on the phone, namely the sedentary reminder. It's to remind users to stand up every hour. The goal is to avoid sitting for too long. In conclusion, the biggest difference between T3 and M3 is their design. One is square, the other is round. However, there are a few things that make the T3 Ultra slightly better. Firstly, the T3 Ultra has a brighter screen. But don't get me wrong, the M3 screen is also good and has good outdoor visibility. Secondly, although the M3 has a slightly larger battery, the T3's battery life is actually better with the same settings. The T3 can last for 8 to 9 days with my usage, while the M3 lasts for 7 to 8 days. And finally, the step accuracy of T3 is slightly better. The accuracy is around 99%, while M3 is around 98 to 99%. This seems to be just a software issue, as both, to my knowledge, use the same sensors. So we can expect that the accuracy of M3 will be further improved in the next firmware update. Thus, whether you choose T3 or M3 Ultra, the difference won't be too noticeable, except for their shapes. For testing of sports features, GPS, accuracy, etc., you can check out the review videos. The links are provided in the video description. For updated prices and purchase links, check the video description. Thank you for visiting the Gadogamix channel. I hope this video is helpful to someone, and see you in the next video.